Hey guys, I'm Olivia Fuller, co-producer of The Daily's Double Shot. Our reporters have been working hard all week to bring the latest in UW news to you. In this episode, take a look at the Purple Heart 5K put on by UW's ROTC in honor of our nation's veterans. Also, get a first look at the Amazon store, which just opened in U Village. We've got all this and more in this week's episode of The Daily's Double Shot.
I'm Alex Bosco.
I'm Olivia Fuller, and this is The Daily's Double Shot.
My name is Charles Johnson, and I filmed the last two home football games. These are the highlights I created, so check it out.
My name is Anthony Whitfield.
And my name is Charles Johnson.
And we did a film focus on the movie The Martian, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Matt Damon.
Check it out.
Hi, my name is Anthony Whitfield, and I'm going to review The Martian.
Every human being has a basic instinct to help each other out. If a hiker gets lost in the mountains, people coordinate a search. If an earthquake levels the city, people all over the world send emergency supplies. This instinct is found in every culture, without exception.
The Martian is a 2015 sci-fi film directed by Ridley Scott, starring Matt Damon. The film is based on Andy Weir's 2011 novel of the same name. Matt Damon plays Mark Watney, an astronaut, part of a team of 6, staying on Mars in an artificial habitat for 30 days. When a devastating storm catches the crew by surprise, they make the snap decision to leave early, lest the storm tip over their only means of escape. On the way to the ship, Mark Watney is struck by debris, presumed dead, or so they thought. The Martian cinematography was beautifully diverse. It has a great mix of shots with POV shots from the astronauts' helmet cams, the vlog-style videos of Mark Watney's monologues, and beautiful panoramic shots of the Mars surface with CGI so convincing you forget that we only have rovers on the planet. The story was immersive in the beginning. You definitely felt the tension in NASA with all the people running around. It's very hectic. There's a lot of indecision and disagreements, and they had to work those out. The acting was fairly good. Some of the characters are a bit typical, with the hacking nerd and the typical frazzled scientist who can't really explain his idea very well, but is the idea that solves the whole problem.
In your face, Neil Armstrong.
While Matt Damon's humor is funny and witty and snappy, he does make jokes in times that you would feel are inappropriate, that are so hectic and scary that even the most cool, calm, and collected astronaut would not be making a witty remark in those instances. And so that kind of detracts from the drama and the suspense of the story and some of its elements.
Overwhelming odds, I'm left with only one option. I'm gonna have to science the shit out of this.
The science in the movie seemed relatively realistic to me, an econ major. They had a centrifugal gravity system in the Hermes, the ship that went to Mars and back. They used the typical space tropes of slingshotting around Earth's gravity, intercepting other modules with the ships already in the air. There's a little good bit of space history with using some of the probes and stuff that are already on Mars in the plot. It seemed that while the plot was good and enthralling, there's a lot of the troubles that were presented to the characters in the story were always solved. They were solved pretty quickly by the minds at NASA, which is understandable. But Mark Watney's problems were always solved with humor and levity, and he never seemed to be that challenged by anything that happened to him.
Obviously.
All in all, the movie was entertaining. I'd give it 3 Matt Damons out of 5. This has been Film Focus. My name's Anthony Whitfield. If you like Matt Damon, you'll love this movie.
Hi, I'm Starla Sampaco. This week I sat down with members of the ASUW Board of Directors to discuss their newly established working group and their controversial stance on race and equity. So let's check it out.
ARES is the Admissions, Retention, and Equity for Students Working Group. We're looking at how we can make the campus more inclusive and accessible for students of color or for students from impoverished backgrounds. The University of Washington has Holistic Review, which tries its best to sort of gauge, the output of a student in school in relation to their socioeconomic background. So a student applying from Yakima is not going to look like a student applying from Ballard. The idea is, how can we paint the portrait of the applicant as a human being? I-200, which is codified in the Revised Code of Washington, basically prohibits affirmative action. And it passed largely because the language was broad and sounded progressive. It was like, the government cannot discriminate on the basis of age or race, etc. There's been interest in repealing that, or at least in alleviating that, to better understand the applicants as we're admitting them, to make sure that we do have a more accessible university. What we're hoping to do here is to look into legislative solutions. Basically, the point of the group is to come up with goals. We'll then give those goals to the Office of Government Relations to sort of strategize how we can lobby for them. We want students who are, ambitious and who work hard, but it is very hard to measure how hard someone works. You can only see the output, not necessarily the input. And so Holistic Review tries to estimate, what is the filter between input and output based on socioeconomic structures. Equity really means that everyone starts on home plate in order to complete the game. I don't believe in reverse racism. There is racism and racism itself. It took me a while before I warmed up to this language, but thinking of racism as prejudice plus power. We did receive some backlash for the letter in solidarity with UCLA's African American community, and we did receive some backlash for the video on cultural appropriation, but I feel like inclusion of students, or at least giving universities more freedom to understand the students they're admitting, would not necessarily be a controversial item.
Oh, there's a lot of reasons why I care. I think personally, when throughout high school and into college, I noticed a lot of microaggressions and a lot of obstacles that I noticed that a lot of other students weren't facing personally, and it caused me to take a deeper look, to do some more investigation and look into why maybe that was happening.
The concerns raised, I feel like, are, while a lot of them probably come from good places, also come from misunderstanding. And when that misunderstanding happens, it falls on us as sort of keepers of the public trust and as public officials to sort of disseminate and answer questions and spread information on why these measures are necessary, or elaborate on the nuance, because they're very nuanced issues. I'm the son of an immigrant, and I guess I lucked out in a way. And so I've had a wealth of experience from their stories about dealing with, barriers to equity. The American dream cannot succeed if you do not have the structure to enable anyone to achieve what ends they can. So if there are barriers that prevent someone from doing well, then that is un-American. And so for me, it's very much an issue of, I'm the son of an immigrant, but I do consider myself an American, and I consider it absolutely despicable that there are people in our country who want to be here and work hard to be here and then suffer for it.
A lot of what we do can't get done in a year, definitely. And so we may very well be either starting or continuing efforts that we may not see the end of for a very long time.
Hi, my name is Helen. I am a reporter here for Daily Videos. For the past week, I did pieces on the Pumpkin Smash fundraiser and the new opening of the Amazon bookstore. Hope you enjoyed these pieces. Check them out. That's it.
Hi, my name's Herman. I'm the secretary of Husky Pediatric Cancer Foundation. I want to let you guys know a little about today. Today was the 4th annual Pumpkin Smash of HPCF. We got our pumpkins donated generously from Fairbank Farms. This is the 2nd year they've done it for us. Yeah, today just was way out of our expectations in that we sold pretty much all our pumpkins.
And I'm president of this year's Husky Pediatric Cancer Foundation. And this organization works towards helping families that have children with cancer. And we're hoping for this year to raise enough funds to help these families with daily needs or basic needs like gas, groceries. I found out about this organization spring quarter of 2014, and I thought it was up my alley. I want to later on become a pediatric oncologist because I find that kids affected with cancer is one of life's biggest tragedies. This club is really unique in that all the members help out in whichever way they can. It's not one person has a specific role, but it's everyone contributing in whatever way they can.
Yeah, my name is Ed Cruz. I'm 65 years old. I read about Amazon books in the newspaper, so I came over here today to have a look at it and see what it looks like and what the selections are like and that sort of thing. It's a little bit Spartan, I guess you could say.
Spartan?
Yeah, Spartan meaning functional, not cozy or comfortable exactly. I write not professionally, but as sort of a hobby, but I'm interested also in getting publishing, and I find that these days you really have to pay attention to the markets for online publishing. Amazon, of course, is one of the biggest companies that got into this early, and they're pretty dominant in many ways. And you have to kind of write and be reading and thinking about how you can get published through these alternative methods rather than actual print books.
Do you enjoy your experience here?
I did, yes. Yeah.
It doesn't differ from any other bookstore I've been to.
My name is Thomas Kim. I'm a art director for online advertising, and I came by to check out the brick and mortar's Amazon bookstore. Obviously it's more Amazon focused, but no, I think it's very similar to most bookstores.
Do you find it annoying that you have to do price check for each book, or you find that more useful?
I don't think it's annoying.
Okay.
I think you get the same prices that you would at Amazon, which is better than I think most bookstores. Amazon, you know, starting out with selling books online, it just made sense, and you get a chance to play with their electronics, the Kindles and Echo, so it makes sense.
I'm Alex Kelly.
How do you feel about this new Amazon bookstore?
I think it's pretty cool. I like the how you can pull everything up on your app in real time. It seems like a more competing with like a Barnes & Noble versus your local bookstore, but I like the kind of integrated shopping experience between brick and mortar and e-commerce.
Do you find that book selections to be different from like traditional bookstores because you have more concentrated upon the ratings online?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, a lot of it's kind of customer choice. So what's done well, what does the public like, and what is general consumers, what if they liked on Amazon? So it seems like they might be stocking more of those.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Kennedy.
And my name's Gabe.
And this past week we had the opportunity to go to the Purple Heart 5K held on campus.
We had a really good time covering the event despite all the rain. This is what we came up with. Hope you guys enjoy.
So check it out.
Thanks for coming out. This is the 2015 Purple Heart Dash. This is the 6th time we've done this event. This is the 2nd time we've been able to do it here on campus at University of Washington. So pretty awesome that we're able to do it here. First of all, this whole event, except for me talking right now, is done by the students. So that's fantastic. So everything you see is all they're doing. Probably the second and more importantly, really cool thing about this event is it's a big fundraiser both for Compass and Chart, which does training for future military officers, but also for the Semper Fi Fund.
So everybody get ready. 3, 2, 1.
My name's Austin Snyder. I'm a midshipman here with the University of Washington Naval ROTC. So currently now I'm the student coordinator for the Purple Heart Dash. That's being also put on by the Alumni Association. So there's about 260 people registered this year. That's up from last year. So next year we'll be hoping to improve upon that again. Our goal was, even if we couldn't get people to register for the run, we just wanted them to know about Semper Fi Fund, know about Wounded Warriors, so that they could support in the future maybe. So the Semper Fi Fund, the name comes from the Marine Corps motto Semper Fidelis, which is always faithful, meaning we just look after our own, you know, whether they're in the Marine Corps or after the Marine Corps. So the Semper Fi Fund gives money and assistance to wounded veterans who receive their injuries during combat, help transition, because a lot of them, you know, lose limbs, and that's a huge impact on their life. They need to make a lot of adjustments, whether it's like prosthetics, they need to make their home wheelchair accessible. And the Semper Fi Fund is a great charity organization all over the country, the world, that helps these veterans out.
I decided to do this run because I've done Tough Mudder, and I really like to support Wounded Warrior Project, the Semper Fi Fund. So it's a really great cause. I loved it.
So I'm a midshipman, part of the Navy ROTC unit here, and I'm helping organize the event today. So we have students, normal individuals in the area, runners from different groups, and veterans helping us out today in running. So a fire team is a group of 4 individuals. One person is being carried at all times. So you have an individual that's 150 to maybe 200 pounds on your back while running the 5K.
I decided to do the run. I thought it'd be a lot of fun. A couple of other cadets from Det 910 wanted to run with me, so thought it'd be a good time. I was on a fire team. It's a little bit harder than just straight running it. It's a lot of fun. If you work out for it, it's not as hard, but it's still a good challenge.
Yeah, we're just thankful for everybody's support, everybody that came out. You know, it was a wet, cold day, the day after Halloween, but it was great that everybody still came out, showed their support, so thanks again. Cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. That's all the content we have for you this week, but stay tuned for next time. We'll have a lot more great stuff on the next episode of the Daily Double Shot.